You are listening to the Hammersley Brothers e-commerce podcast. Like what you hear and want to take the shortcut on your e-commerce growth? Join hundreds of brands that work with us and head over to joinhb.com. That's joinhb.com and see how we can help you further. Join our members and smash your targets and unlock the profits within your e-commerce site. Hi Ian, how are you?
Hey Mark, happy New Year. Happy
New Year to you.
2026.
Yeah, here we are.
How was
Here we
it?
are. Well, it's always a nice to have a break, isn't it? Kind of sit down and change the year over, but really then you're back to the same stuff. But
Sounds cheery.
yeah,
Yeah, great.
it's just like that much difference.
Yeah, no,
It's just a
you're
week.
right.
Yeah, it's just a
I
week.
just became this sort of like blob.
What
over
is different?
the
What is
Christmas New
different
Year.
about the time is you try and think about work, but you can't. You just try and you get your head around. You go, oh, I'll do those videos. I'm sure everybody went into Christmas thinking, oh, I'll learn that over Christmas. I'll watch those videos. I'll do that, and then didn't happen. But you think you just need a break. That's all. That's all.
I know, it's so hard though. It's so hard to take a break. I don't know. It's like you do it for a day and then you feel guilty about taking a break. Maybe it says more about me than
it's easier to take a
than I
break in
care
New
to
Zealand
admit.
because it's sunny and nice, and everybody else is on the beach, so you feel like
Yeah.
you should be on the beach. Well, we just thought we'd do a quick podcast today, say hello to everybody, and just talk about what we predicted for 2025 and just see how that's panned out. Just a few things. We'll either get through that today or we do the next session, and then obviously we'll do a podcast on our forecast of 2026 in the future. So you haven't seen these.
I have literally no idea what we predicted for 2025.
So here's the first thing. We predicted a normal growth year for 2025. We predicted a stable year of growth for mature e-commerce businesses moving past the semi-flat performance seen in 2024. And actually, that was pretty much spot on.
I know what we meant by that. Yeah. We meant that it would be a reset normal year after COVID.
Yeah, so 2024, there was a lot of
COVID.
There was a lot of kind of people selling off stock and
stock
all
issues.
That kind of stuff and things like that. And actually, a lot of the normal growth happened in 2025. So particularly like our brands, like the bedding brand.
Seasons came back,
that went massive in 2025. Things responded as they should do. So that was really nice to have. That was kind of like the stability to grow. We had that through the year. And so, yeah, it was a stable year of growth. And whereas before that,
I think there were distinct seasons in 2025, like normal seasons, strong peaks.
Yeah.
Father's Day was strong. Easter was strong. The summer holidays September was quiet. And then it ramped up in October. It was people behaved as they did before COVID.
And then the other thing we were talking about was mature brands stabilizing, but the significant growth in 2025 we expected from innovative and disruptive models. And that really happened, didn't it, as well? Like there was no real...
So just say that again. Sorry.
So what I meant by, like, we expected, like, the mature e-commerce businesses that work with to kind of go to their normal growth rate, like obviously to keep growing, but within bounds. The ones that grew exponentially were the ones that had something that disrupted the model, disrupted the market. And that's essentially what happened. Someone who came out with a new product that was as good as that product, but was half the price, or someone had a different distribution model, someone who understood that the pricing and the volume business, those brands really did really well because they were disrupting. Still a lot of them were disrupting the high street. Like the people who were selling plants online were disrupting the garden centers, and the people who were disrupting a traditional way of doing things. There's still a lot of disruption in online, even though it's a very mature market.
I think so. I think what you're saying is that the people that grew really quickly in 2025, and the clients that we were working, because we had some really great successes in the group. They grew because they were naturally being disruptive. Whereas if you go back to 2023, maybe 2022, 2023, maybe 2024, the people were growing anyway because the shops were shut, for example, in COVID. There was lots of growth, and you look back and you go, well, that wouldn't have happened now. That business wouldn't have got to that size in 2025 because they weren't offering anything particularly new or different. It just happened to be there at the right time.
Also,
no disrespect to anybody. That's bloody. It sounds awful that to take away people
but I
who
mean,
did
in
really well during that
2025.
period, but
2025 was the first year we'd had where we hadn't got any of those kind of like COVID brands hangover, where people had done really, really well and they thought they were geniuses and they were going, why is everything not selling like it used to? I used to be able to sell sandwiches online and now I can't sell sandwiches online. And it's like, I used to do 4 million and now I'm doing no wants to buy sandwiches online. And, that's a very extreme example.
And there were casualties too, wasn't there? Look, there were people like Made.com went under, and that gave £700 million worth of
market share
to other online businesses. And it's like, I'll take a couple of million of that. I'll take so there were lots of disruptions about that. There was gaps opening, and that is settled. 2025, it's settled. We didn't hear those extreme stories.
The other thing we were predicting was the AI and technology revolution, not so much saying that AI was going to revolutionize how the website worked, but how easy advertising creative was going to become. And I mean, that's just moved shockingly fast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's gone from being like amazed that you could put on a shirt onto a model that doesn't exist to like the ads that you can do now.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. It's a part of everybody's kit. And
what's the new Gemini? The new Google Photo Pro Banana. What's it called?
Yeah,
you seen it? Banana.
It's something. I can't remember. Something banana. I've actually moved from. I used to use ChatGPT for everything, and I started using Gemini over Christmas. Not really for images and things like that, because I don't really get involved. My team does that for me now, but for the thinking process and stuff, and I'm finding Gemini much better at the deep research and things like that. So you're starting to see.
We predicted AI would be fairly well used. Never has there been a more pathetic prediction.
Yeah, but I think
it's like saying at some point we'll start breathing oxygen in the air.
But it's like a duh.
At the time,
it's become so accessible.
Mainstream, I think.
It's so accessible to everybody that, like, the beginning of 2025 and 2024, you were getting these brands that saying, this is an AI-only generated advert. And it was like this kind of new thing, and everybody was doing, and like, not everybody was doing it, but it was like, people was like almost like a point of difference. Now it's like, what are you doing? Like, there was an advert on TV advert which used AI generated video people, and it looks dreadful now. It just looks, I mean, it moves so fast that effectively a lot of people who said they would never use AI because they didn't want people to see it was AI are now using AI because you can't tell. You literally can't tell. And so if you do a photo shoot and something's wrong, you can use AI just to tweak it, like so much easier. Remember when we did the bedding envy shot and in the background we had the building that had the industrial site and we needed to replace it with a forest, and that took like, finding a freelancer to do it. Now it's
Weeks.
Like one click. It's just like one click. And also you could be like, we'll take those creases out. It's just a absolute different world. And the acceleration of that is fantastic. So let's see what else
it's built
we
into everything, isn't it? It's every. And I was using the Shopify image AI creation just before Christmas. I think it was December, and it was one of our brands, the bedding brand, and it was like, can you just put this? Can you just put a woman in that? Get a dressing gown, make a woman wear it, and the shot was like phenomenal, and that's just the Shopify image API. It's a great shot.
One of the disruptions we were talking about for 2025 was skeleton teams, predicting that tiny teams or even individuals would continue to reach massive revenue milestones of up to about 20 million because modern platforms handle the operational lifting. And I think that is what we've seen. We've seen small teams. That's been one of the disruptor. So they've been going out, they've been going after somebody that's got head office, even though they're completely online, and they've got all that cost structure. And then you've got these 1, 2, 3 man band team with maybe a VA or something like that, and they can disrupt massively because the accessibility to the technology is just, it's there. And so there's also like being able to manage your ad accounts, and everything is being completely democratized down to, like, if you know what you're doing, being able to compete with some huge people that are, the slow movers, aren't they? They can't unpack.
Well, I think you're right.
model.
I mean, if you go back years, you look taking your Meta ad account or your Google Ads account, you'd need a big agency or a big internal team to do it, and it would cost thousands. And I mean, that's one of the main, not plugging ourselves here, but one of the main reasons people join the Hammersley Brothers program is so you can run your ads internally without the need for lots of expensive agencies. And because that's a massive cash, you need huge cash flow in order to pay an agency. So that's one of the reasons people join it. And it's amazing, isn't it? And that's why you can. That model is disruptive just by doing that.
I think that's our whole model on the level 2 program, is simplifying it down to take out all the costs that you don't need, so you can compete with people much bigger than yourself, and you can kind of go and dominate the market, and that, because that's what we do. We don't want to have massive teams. God, staff.
Well, I mean, just look back, look at what we did with that bedding brand. We've talked about it before, but in November we did $1 million. We did $1 million. It's better when you say it in dollars.
Yes,
it sounds bigger.
US dollars is
700,000. Yeah, 700,000. But $1 million US in a month. And like we said, we didn't really talk about it. We didn't need to. We knew the numbers. We knew what we were doing. We knew. We just upped the budget, didn't we? I mean, obviously you did more.
I think part of it is because, if that was our only brand, we might be tempted to bloat it too, because we'd be focusing on it all the time. We might be, we need to get
the only thing we had. Well, we had a little joke about that, didn't we, over Christmas, about how everyone was asking us lots of like silly questions, and no, that's not true. We would just say, God, how many times we chat? We did $1 million in a month, and how many times we chat about it? None. And then we were comparing it to some of the people in the program who were a lot more.
We're talkative about each day.
Talkative is a polite word.
I don't even know how much we did yesterday. I just look at it occasionally and go, it's doing all right.
Yeah.
So I only got a little bit of time, so let's have a look at what else we talked about. We talked about drop shipping, like to test new categories. I don't think that really happened. Physical
what did we get
stores
wrong?
as trust anchors. So what we predicted that AI was going to make certain trust signals much stronger, because in a world where videos and studio shoots can be made up and stuff like that, the consumer's going to it's going to be much harder for the consumer to decide whether that's a good product or not. So we predicted that things like Trustpilot, third-party reviews, things you couldn't fake, or actual physical shop fronts, like, would help as a trust signal. And I think that has happened to some extent, but I think that's still something that's evolving over time, because I don't think the consumer yet has kind of started to catch on to the fact that the ads that they're seeing aren't real. They're just still seeing them at face value. And so I don't know whether that's happened yet, really. Would you say?
Well, I'd say, I mean, Joe, I'd say my opinion about that is ads. What ads aren't really real. Ads are a collection of emotions, portrayed in a way that that resonates with a consumer. So what's real about that? You know what I mean? It's generally the same.
Yeah.
Not getting into this, the depths of it, but that's what it is, isn't it?
We said that the awareness of health and environmental impacts would grow. That was correct. So basically, we get the stats from Google, and they send us what's growing. So year on year, things like alcohol was down like 10%, and health and things like that was up by 10, 15, 20% in certain cases. So the consumer is becoming much more health conscious, much more aware of things they're putting in their body, much more aware of how they look, and so we definitely saw that across the year.
I think what it would be interesting actually is to take all of the people in the group, and just put what sectors were up 2025 and what were down 2025. Whether or not you could do that, because I know you've got loads of time.
I just don't do anything. I just sit there and just crunching stats for the kind of random comments you just talk about in the podcast. Just go,
ask Gemini to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
what else
that'll
we got here?
Be useful actually, because I think definitely health and wellness brands that we work with some of them did phenomenally well.
We did say, as stream time increased, potentially via self-driving cars and VR headsets, more shopping was predicted to occur through voice assistants, YouTube, and meta environments. I think we were way ahead of ourselves there. I don't think we were predicting self-driving cars. I think we were saying if at one point when self-driving cars come, then people are going to consume.
I think you're basically sat on the phone.
Yeah. So, I think
that's a wild one.
It was pretty wild. But I think that the year kind of went how we were expecting it. I think we'll cover this in the next podcast, but like 2026, I'm less sure about compared to how I was sure about 2025.
Yeah, I think we should talk about. I think we'll talk about 2026. I think next week about what we're thinking would happen. I think 2025. The thing that happened that we didn't expect was the weather. The weather in the UK, and particularly Europe and the UK, was incredible. We had the hottest, driest period.
Yeah, had a really big impact on someone. Our customer who sold
impact.
Wellington boots wasn't particularly wonderful for him.
Well, any homeware businesses, they were lots of homeware businesses did really well towards the end of the year because there was this like suppressed appetite. And they actually made it up, but a lot of people were really worried in the April, May, June, July, August months because it was just fantastic weather. So a lot of people suffered.
Yeah,
the weather had an impact.
Weather has a massive impact, and hopefully, if you get really good weather, at some point you get really bad weather, and it will all iron itself out. But that's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna have to shoot off. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
And we'll put some predictions into 2026. If you are listening to this, please like and subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to have to start saying that now because I really like our subscribers to go up.
Great. People go, oh, I'm going to like and subscribe. No, because they've asked me. Like they didn't know that was.
They do. Honestly, people do when you ask them to like. Apparently, it's like a number. I paid $40,000 for this course, and it says you're just going to ask people to like and subscribe, and then they do.
Okay.
So
it's the unlock.
I'm expecting an avalanche of subscribers from that comment there, just from the people who managed to watch our podcast to the end,
all the way to the end as well.
Yeah. Well done. You know who you are, David.
I was going to say it's David. It's always David.
I don't know who David is. There's just a common name. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ian. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
See you next week.
Bye.